Hey there everyone, it's Dr. Julie Hartman here with the mindfulresourcecenter.com and consciousallyparenting.com, and today I'm going to be teaching how we can use the poop metaphor to teach anxiety-prone kids and teens a tool for managing their anxiety. And so before we get started, oh, hi Joanne, yay! Joanne is here. She is one of our awesome clinicians at the Mindful Resource Center, and she runs groups here with us as well, and she teaches teens all kinds of tools for managing anxiety. So good to see you. And let's see, I am just taking a couple more minutes here to give people a chance to come on. And yeah, good to see you, Joanne. So let me see, and let me make sure I've got everything organized. You know, the whole technology is so awesome that I get to be with you guys and teach you one of the really fun lessons that we use to help anxiety-prone kids and teens manage their anxiety. But technology, you know, it takes a few minutes to get things all organized, and I want to make sure to give time for other people to come on the live stream. And also I want to invite you, if you have any questions about anxiety, about how anxiety affects kids and teens, maybe your child or your teenager or your middle schooler has something going on that's making them anxious at the transition back to school. Most schools have started back already. Some of them are starting at the end or you know, just after Labor Day. My kids are starting actually just after Labor Day, so we still have a few more days of sort of like summer left. But hey, please ask me questions if there's anything you want to know. Happy to answer them here if I can. And I'm just going to wait a few more minutes for people to jump on our live stream here. Let me tell you, I just had the most fun group with middle schoolers. They're so courageous and so brave to come to a group and you know, not quite knowing the members yet. You know, we're in the beginning here of our year-long group, and just so much bravery, you know, coming when they don't quite know me, they don't quite know each other, you know, they don't quite know necessarily how this group thing works. And so I'm super grateful for their courage and for them, you know, taking a risk and allowing me to be a positive influence on them. And I'm super shout out grateful to the parents, because I tell you what, parents have a huge responsibility when their kids are anxiety prone, because while parents rarely ever, our experience here at the Mindful Resource Center, you know, rarely ever do the parents actually like cause the anxiety. Most of the time the kids or the teens inherited some of the anxiety genes, or maybe they've had some bad experiences with friends or with teachers or something like that that kind of grew some extra anxiety. So the parents, rarely are they the cause of the anxiety, but anxiety is so tricky, particularly problematic anxiety. It's so tricky that it can accidentally kind of suck parents into kind of a dynamic where the parents wind up often feeling confused about, you know, do I support them and let them off the hook with this anxiety producing thing, or do I you know, kind of push my child towards it, and, you know, sort of what's my role here. So we're super grateful for the parents that give us the opportunity to be a positive influence on their kids and teens, and then also on them in terms of the parent consultation that we offer. And this Facebook Live here, this teaching that I'm about to do, is one of our offerings as well, because we want to make sure that we're reaching everyone so that we can be a support to all the kids and teens out there who have extra anxiety, and their parents who are devoted and want to be a positive influence on them. Okay, so I'm going to go on ahead and launch in. And the first thing that I'm going to teach about today is the 1 and 8s. So a number of the folks who join our groups are a 1 and 8. And I'm a 1 and 8, I'll tell you. My kids, at least one of my kids is a 1 and 8. I would say probably about 60-70%. Say hi if you're joining us. I'd love to kind of see you and interact with you. Super happy to have you here. So a large proportion, I would say, of the folks that come to the Mindful Resource Center are 1 and 8s. And that is that 1 in 8 people have an anxiety disorder. And an anxiety disorder, basically you pay attention to the last word on that label, which is disorder. The person has a level of anxiety that gets triggered that creates disorder in some way, shape, or form. So it creates disorder in their home life, it creates disorder in their learning and their development at school, it creates disorder in their friendships, right? And so, and a lot of times it's really subtle. Hi, welcome. So it's really subtle, and it's not something that necessarily is really screaming loud at everyone, but it can be subtle enough that there's a little bit of extra controlling behavior, or a little extra reassurance seeking behavior, or a little extra clinginess to their comfort zones, right? And so, or maybe even a little extra bossiness, like things have to be their way. And naturally, kids and teens, everybody, okay, first of all, everybody likes things going their way, but kids and teens especially do, because there's so much out of their control, and they're so regularly being told what to do by society, and they're young, immature organisms, and so they can't quite do everything as expected. And so they like the idea of kind of telling people how they want things to be done in a way that they know that they can do it. But anxiety-prone kids and teens, the 1 out of 8s, like I said, they tend to be a little bit more bossy and controlling in general as well. So sometimes it can be really stealthy, and that's one of the things that we teach here and that we teach in these tutorials, is how to catch some of the stealthy, problematic anxiety behavior so that it doesn't grow, and how to be a positive influence around it. Okay, so 1 out of 8 kids and teens has an anxiety disorder, and that means that they need extra tools and extra skills for managing that challenging emotion and the challenging thoughts and habits that develop around it, okay? And so one of the lessons that we teach, that I'm teaching you about today, we use the metaphor of poop, okay? And it's super fun to me. I know I'm a little bit weird, probably a lot weird. The poop metaphor is really fun, and most people actually enjoy it. There are a few that kind of get grossed out, but for the most part, it's fun and silly. And that's that poop is a part of life, right? It just is. It's a part of life, and it comes with being human. It's something that we cannot avoid, and it's something that we have to deal with all the time, right? And sometimes we have to sit around while it's all stinky. Sometimes, we find ourselves looking at it when we go to flush the toilet. It's just like this magnetic pull to kind of looking at it, and all the different shapes and sizes and colors that it comes in. And it's something that if we're in relationships, particularly, for instance, with family members, or for us, like maybe partners that we live with, we'll smell their poop. We will have to wait for our turn in the bathroom because they're using it to go poop, right? So I do a lot of that teaching around, and I just did this in the middle school confidence and coping club that I just had, and that meets weekly, in addition to some of our other clubs. So we teach about how poop is something that, you just got to learn to live with. And it's something that we don't like necessarily because it smells or it's yucky or something like that, but we have to learn to live with it, okay? So what I teach next is that they know how to live with poop. They know how to still be a comfortable person who poops every day, hopefully multiple times a day, right? It's something that they some people, let me just put this out here. There are some people that have poop disorders, okay? And so I'm not really talking about them. There's some people that have encopresis. There's some people that have severe constipation related to either a biological issue or kind of a food and hydration consumption issue, excuse me. There are some people who have a tremendous amount of, for lack of a better word, paranoia around pooping, and, particularly in public places, there's a lot of shame around it, okay? So I'm actually not talking about that. That's a separate talk, and there are definitely strategies, absolutely, for addressing that, and we do some of that cognitive behavioral therapy and exposure with response prevention work here. But I'm talking about sort of the typical person who does not prefer poop, but whatever, it happens, okay? So we really empower them that they already know how to address it. And what's interesting with anxiety prone. Yay, hi Lynn, so glad to see you. So Lynn Dutro is an awesome anxiety expert. Okay, so like Joanne Foreman, I'm so blessed to have you here. She specializes in anxiety. She treats anxiety in teens and adults. She has this awesome e-course that's just happening right now, and I'm so glad to have you here. And yay, hey, and look forward to connecting more. So Lynn, I'm letting everyone know that if they have any questions about anxiety, which, you know, you're an expert, but, you know, it's fun kind of coming at things from different angles, or specific to this talk, I'd love to hear your questions and answer them. I think it's pretty late there, right? I think you probably just are starting to hunker down back east, or where you are. Is that right? Okay, so I was talking about poop, and I was talking about how poop is a part of life, and poop is something that we live with every day, and I empower kids and teens around how they already know how to live with poop, right? Kind of this thing that like is sort of taboo, that we don't really talk about, that it's stinky, we don't necessarily like bothering with, right? But we do it, and we do it every day, hopefully multiple times a day. And I really empower and kind of set the stage for kids and teens that it is something that they kind of know how to do. And oh, sorry about your daughter being up late. I hear ya. Well, thanks for being here. I super appreciate it. And hopefully this is helpful to you all, and some of the clients and families that you support. So what I do is by talking about it. Yay, you love poop too. That's right. I know you do. That's great. So what I do too with these anxiety prone kids and teens is that by me talking about poop, I love poop, the whole thing. What, you know, I've got like poop stuffed animals. I know I'm total weirdo, and I happen to love it. I know it's weird, but I've got all kinds of like poop, you know, and just by talking about it super comfortably, very accepting, it's a part of life, starts helping young people experience an adult who is comfortable with something that can be shaming, or that can be in our society, you know, you're not supposed to do poop talk, you know, at the table and things like that, which I'm a huge fan of, by the way, important lessons, but that with anxiety prone kids, they tend to be more guarded, right? They tend to be more self-protective. The kids and teens who, for instance, inherited the anxiety gene are much more nervous. Yes, yeah, making all those taboo topics more neutral. Exactly, Lynn, thank you. Yeah, that they are much more prone to think and double think before they talk, and try to predict the outcomes that are going to come from them, you know, doing certain behaviors or talking about certain things. And it creates a lot of extra stress, and it really drains their batteries in the background, having to manage all of that. So just by talking about these taboo topics, just like you said, Lynn, in a pretty comfortable way, as one of the adults who helps be a positive influence to kids and teens, can begin to help them, particularly in a therapy context, or if you're a parent teaching a lesson like this, it can particularly help them shift into a little bit more feeling like taking some risk around continuing to talk. Okay, so that's one of the ways that I use poop. And so today, actually, in this group, we made poop. So hold on, let me show you what we did. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so we made slime. I don't know if you can see this. It is goopy, sticky, ooky, icky poop slime. It was really fun. The kids, it's really interesting. Majority of the kids, they love it. It's actually like really funny. And oh yeah, we got a little corn in there. We got a little, look at this, we got a little fly. Oh yeah, I got a little fly in there. And they love it. It's so funny and so fun to them. Now, a couple of them were a little bit like either icky, gross, or a couple of them, this felt a little young to them. to be making poop slime. But majority that we interact with think this is funny and hilarious, and they like the idea of interacting with something kind of taboo, but in a light, playful way. And I tell you, majority of the kids and teens that we work with, they can feel the power of interacting with something taboo and being able to tolerate it, and being around an adult who lightens up something like this, that, hey there, good to see you, so that they can feel a little bit lighter while they're interacting with something that's a little bit triggering or a little bit uncomfortable. Okay, so we made poop slime. I'm not going to talk about how we made the poop slime. I actually happened to use a kit this time. I'm not even going to bother promoting or endorsing the kit. Kits, it's really not necessary. There's so much out there on how to make slime, and I like getting the little funny things like the plastic corn, or like the little flies. You can get things like that on Oriental Trading Company or whatever. But the main point of this lesson actually isn't just the poop. Although, as you can tell, I am ridiculously excited about the part of the poop that is helpful for teaching lessons of bravery and courage and confidence and skillfulness in managing anxiety, okay? The lesson here is actually about mining for the diamonds in the poop. So I don't know if you can see this here. All right, so I actually got little plastic fake diamonds. So hold on a minute, I'm actually going to get the container to show you. Okay, so let's see if you can see that. Look at these luxurious, beautiful, beautiful diamonds, okay? So of course, at this point, their poop is made, and I haven't told them yet what we're gonna do more with the lesson. We talk about poop, 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 and then we talk about, how taboo the subject is and how awkward and uncomfortable it is, and how did you feel those kind of feelings come up when I mentioned that we were making poop. Like, how many of you, kind of felt like a recoil, like an avoidance? How many of you got kind of excited, and stuff like that? And then we're making poop and we're connecting, and I, kind of, like I said in the beginning, talk about empowering them around, how to live with poop, and how to interact with it every day, even though it's not that desirable, even though it can be stinky, even though it can be kind of gross, right? So that you have the skills to tolerate things that are awkward or uncomfortable. We just have to help your brain remember, and help your brain borrow from the section that already knows how to tolerate and interact with uncomfortable, anxiety-provoking things like poop, and bring it over to the part of your brain that is saying no, 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 avoid, 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 bad, 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 that is really controlling you, right? So, okay, back to the diamonds. So mining for the diamonds in the poop. So, this isn't going to be rocket science here, once I kind of explain this, but what this is I talk about how poop can represent the negatives in our life. So the negative thoughts, the negative emotions, the negative things that happen that we want to avoid, that bother us, that get us stuck, that we don't want to, we don't want to feel, we don't want to have, So I'll say, touch your nose if you've ever been super stuck and negative about something that happens with your parents, and so they kind of look around and touch their nose, or, touch your cheek if you've ever had something, really bother you that happens with your friend, and it really gets you down, and you got sort of negative feelings inside and negative thoughts inside, and certain ones will touch their cheek, right? And I do those kind of examples, and I just use the terms negative feelings and negative thoughts, and because in this lesson I don't necessarily go into a lot of detail about feelings education and distress and discomfort tolerance. Those are other aspects of the lessons that we teach, but in this one I'll say, what's really important and how the brain works, and a lot of the happiness researchers have studied this, how important it is that when you are feeling negative, you're kind of stuck in negativity or negative thoughts or your negative feelings, how important it is to try to discover and find some of the positives that are still there. And, you know, they all kind of look around, and it's like they kind of have heard this message before, but, you know, this is kind of coming at it from a different angle a little bit. And I explain, you know, for instance, let's imagine you hated this activity. Let's imagine, oh my God, this girl, Julie, you know, she is so weird with her like addiction to poop and all this poop talk. This is just so uncomfortable and I can't stand it, or something like that. Well, what would be important, and what this lesson is about in terms of discovering and mining for the diamonds in the poop, is, you know, at least where we live right now, we're not being bombarded by Hurricane Harvey, you know? And, you know, at least, you know, you get to have pizza tonight. You know, or it's, so you're feeling negative about this group, let's say, or you're feeling really bummed because you have, one of your teachers is assigning so much homework already, and it's like you have to go home and you're tired, and you have to do this homework, and this whole waking up at 6:30 in the morning thing's really hard, and, you know, let's just imagine you get kind of stuck in some negativity there. You know, you can kind of be like, well, where are the diamonds in this? You know, where are they? They're there. I just can't see them. All I can do is I can smell the stinky poop. You know, all I can do is sort of feel the ickiness of the situation. But there are diamonds here to be mined and discovered. And then you identify it. You know, maybe you see your dog and you call your dog over and you cuddle your dog a little bit, right? And so part of the lessons and the offerings that we have here at the Mindful Resource Center, and part of what actually we've been trying to provide actually nation and worldwide, you know, sidebar, I have a 5-day free e-course that I'm just finishing up on empowering your anxiety-prone kids and teens. It is a parent guide. It has a ton of this kind of tools and really important messaging in for parents to support their anxiety-prone kids and teens. And so if you're interested in that, leave a comment for me and I'll be sure to provide the link so you can check that out if you'd like. But so one of the reasons that we are doing it is because there are so many tools and strategies and techniques that are really, really needed for the 1 out of 8s. You know, that the 1 out of 8s, they have a fear section of their brain that is overactive, and that circuitry gets triggered too much, and it causes them to see and feel and experience more fear and more negativity than is actually there. And so learning a skill like mining for the diamonds in the poop, and lots and lots and lots of other skills that we provide, can really help them learn how to kind of quiet that overactive fear circuitry and to kind of live with it just like they live with poop. And it's something that happens, and you can know how to deal with it and move on. So hopefully this lesson was helpful to you. Again, let me show you again kind of what this looks like. You know, so at the end of the lesson, they were able to pick a bunch of diamonds and mix it into their slime. And so what I encourage them to do is to keep their slime and use it and play with it to help remember the lesson. And then I also let them each take a few, and I told them to throw them in their room somewhere, toss them in their room, toss them in their yard, something like that, so that they can have the opportunity that if they're feeling stuck or sad, they can maybe go look for those diamonds, and it can help reinforce the tool of identifying the positives that are there, even though you're feeling really stuck in the negative. All right, hi, Lynn, let's see. Thanks, Julie. I love this and hope to use this with our tween group. Yay, I hope you do. That would be awesome. Thank you. And I look forward to maybe someday you and I should hop on live, and I would love to interview you about your tools and techniques, Lynn, that you use in your groups and with your clients. You're such a remarkable anxiety expert, and I look forward to us maybe sharing a lesson together that we can teach people. All right, so if you are interested in learning more lessons like these, again, I mentioned it before, but leave a message in the comments with any of the things that you're interested in. Oh, good, definitely, Lynn. Thank you. Awesome. Please leave a message in the comments with any of your questions. Let me know if you're interested in the free 5-day e-course. It's Empowering Your Anxiety-Prone Child and Teen. It's a parent guide. It's free. Take it, revisit it, skim it, deep dive into it, whatever you want to do. It is my gift to you because I'm so, here at the Mindful Resource Center, and I've been doing this for years and years and years, I know how much of a responsibility it is on parents. Let's see, Mindful Resource, do teens like poop too? Looking forward to using similar tools with our teens. Yes, nice. Oh, that's fun. I see that there. Yeah, so teens do. We use this with our teens. And what's fun about the teens is that it's similar with the middle schoolers actually. About half of them are kind of like, oh, this is fun, this is funny. I like being playful with these lessons instead of just sort of robotically hearing a lesson about the brain and kind of how, positive thinking works, right? And then the other half feel like it's kind of babyish and kind of annoying, but they get the message, right? Some of them will acknowledge, that, wow, this is a really interesting take on it because, yeah, poop is overrated, Everybody makes a big deal about their poop, like not pooping in public or, like, oh, like it's this bad thing, or like if you fart, you have to hold it in, like so nobody hears, right? So you'll have some teens that are kind of like wear a badge of honor of like, we want to break the barriers of taboo and we want to destigmatize things like this, and so they will actually, kind of take it to another level for us. The main thing, I would say that the teens, really kind of latch onto are the diamonds, that's sort of like, yeah, there are diamonds in the world for us to discover, and there can be some, some real positive thinking around it. Okay, thanks for your question. Would love more questions. I can maybe take a few moments now, but again, if you are interested in me providing you with more information, and if you're interested in more lessons like these, let me know down in the comments, whether you're live or you watch this at another point, and I would really love to get you the link so that you can get access to the 5-day free e-course, Empowering Your Anxiety-Prone Child and Teen. It's a parent guide, and happy to provide more tutorials on these kind of lessons for you to be able to use at home with your anxiety-prone child or teen, or you can forward this to someone that that has a 1 out of 8, right? Or maybe a suspected, 1 out of 8 that tends to get a little more kind of fussy about certain things. And then if you're a therapist or an educator, it might be fun for you to get your hands on that 5-day free e-course, because there'll be material in there that you can use with your clients. And let's see, so if you are local, all right, we are the Mindful Resource Center. Go to our website, mindfulresourcecenter.com. We have after school Worry Less, Relax More clubs, and our confidence and coping clubs. Those are designed for your anxiety-prone youth, also your youth who just have some extra things that are hard for them to learn or hard for them to manage, and so they benefit from extra skill building and a really supportive community that gets it. And so that might be your child who has ADHD or learning disabilities or kind of extra sensitivities. And we also provide individual therapy. We are rooted in cognitive behavioral therapy, and we're attachment based, we're mindfulness oriented, and we're developmentally supportive in our approach to cognitive behavioral therapy. We do a lot of skill building and a lot of habit retraining for all kinds of things. So we've got individual therapy, and then we also do a lot of parent consultations. Some of the parents that we work with just see us for parent consultation, and we actually don't work with their kids. Maybe other therapists do, or they're not quite at that point yet. and some are of the kids that we actually see in our groups and in our individual work. So coming up, just to let you know, I am pulling for a very small, intimate group of really eager and devoted parents who want to partner with me, super fun, to co-create an online course that consolidates so much of the information that we use, that we teach our families, and creating a step-by-step formula. And so if you are at all interested in doing that with me, I am offering a deep discount. I'm actually being really picky about who I accept into the class because we're going to be working really closely together on creating this class for the community. And so hi, that's cute, Lynn. Thanks for that heart. I'm glad you like it. So I really am interested if there's any part about that, any part of this lesson at all that makes you kind of curious about maybe being a part of that group. You don't have to be local. The entire course is going to be online, so it's going to be videos, it's going to be audio recordings, we're going to have a lot of interaction together in a really small, intimate community where I get to learn from you what are some of the things specifically that you like the idea of being taught to you so that you can support your anxiety-prone child or teen comfortably and strategically and successfully at home. Okay, so we're going to get to do that together, and like I said, it's a super deep discount. My gratitude for you for kind of partnering with me on this, and then I'm going to quadruple the rate once everything is designed and recorded and we've done it all together, so that I can make it available to everyone. Okay, so if any part of that interests you, please do let me know. Put it down in the comments. It could be a, hey Julie, I'm interested in hearing more about that small group class that you're teaching, or you know, let me know how to apply to see if you know, I might be a good fit for your founding members group for this online course. Okay, and I really look forward to seeing if it makes sense for us to do that together. Okay, so www.mindfulresourcecenter.com. Thank you so much for being here with me. Please leave me any questions or thoughts you have in the comments. Love the idea of answering them for you. And thanks to those of you who are here with me, and I look forward to supporting you guys in the future. All right, take good care.